Hey everyone, it's Isha Patel here, and I just have a message that I want to share with you guys as we enter into 2025. First of all, I just want to say I hope you guys had an amazing new year. Happy New Year, everyone. And I'm definitely feeling the momentum that we have as we're coming into this new year. So
Hey
just to
everyone, it's Isha Patel here.
Oh, that was me in the background. I'm still figuring out how to do this YouTube live thing that I don't do very often. So just yeah, bear with me a little bit on that one. So anyway, what I was saying is yeah, so just to add a little bit of context on this, basically what's happened was I went to Uluru recently. If you guys are following me on social media, you would have seen all the amazing pictures and the blogs that I've written about it. We had the most incredible time. And one of the things that really came out of this Uluru trip was I was doing back-to-back readings for 3 days straight. So pretty much all through the event, I ended up doing these amazing galactic readings for people, and I was really quite blown away at some of the things that were coming through. So after doing somewhere between 30 to 40 readings in the span of 3 days, just because of the sheer volume of people that were coming through, I was able to really tune in and see what was coming through the different star races. So one of the things is when I'm doing readings is I basically just pick up on the other person's soul frequency and which of their soul aspects is coming through the most strongly at this moment in time. And I mean, I met all sorts. Some of the people had more Arcturian energies coming through, some of them had Pleiadian energies coming through. But the most fascinating readings that I did were actually with a couple of people at the event that have more of an Andromedan energy. And so when I came home from the event and I was sort of sat with that and I was sort of digesting some of the messages that were coming through, I realized that there's actually a really powerful message coming through as a collective for Andromedan souls. Now, one thing that I want to preface as well, and I think it's really important to say this before I move on to the actual messages, we're not just from one soul or one star system. And a lot of people ask me this. The most common questions I get is, well, number one is which system am I from? And then the second one is, what is my soul purpose and what am I here to do? And so to answer the first question, we are all multidimensional beings. So it's kind of impossible to say I'm Arcturian or I'm Pleiadian or I'm Andromedan, because what happens is that at any given moment in time, one of these aspects is coming through the most strongest. And for some people, they have one aspect through their entire life, and that's their primary aspect that they're connected into, and that's great. But for others, we experience multiple soul aspects that come through at different times. So there have been moments in my life where my Arcturian aspects have really come forward and they've been the most prominent, the most in focus for me. And then those aspects have stepped back and other aspects have come in. Like, for example, that my Lyran soul aspects or my 5D soul aspect Lily, who's connected to the Galactic Federation. So for me, I really take this at more of a multi-dimensional level with the recognition that we are all multi-dimensional. We all have many, many soul aspects, but then there are moments in time where specific star races and specific connections come online at a deeper level. And so when I'm talking about a message for Andromedan souls, what I'm really saying is for those of you who are feeling your Andromedan energies coming online, getting stronger as we enter 2025, and some of you are feeling that call and that connection. I mean, you'll know because as I'm saying this, as I start talking about Andromedans, you'll start to feel that resonance in your body, and you go, okay, maybe this message is for me. So here's what came through. There's a couple of beautiful people that I chatted with during the conference, and these few people in particular were very, very connected to the Andromedan star system. And during these readings that I was doing in Uluru, I just started to see all these amazing like symbols, like light codes, geometries, like all this stuff was just coming through. And I was seeing this, almost like very visually as I was doing these readings with them. And when I sat with this later on and I came home and I really meditated on this, what I realized is that as we're going into 2025, those Andromedan connections are coming in at a much stronger level. But the most interesting thing about the Andromedan connections is it's quite unique to what I've experienced with Pleiadians or Arcturians. Now, to give you an example of that, a lot of Arcturian souls, when you're in that Arcturian flow, there's some common themes that typically flow through. healing is a really big part of the Arcturian connection. And I know that because I went through that many, many years ago when I first connected with my Arcturian soul family and I connected with the Arcturian Council of Light. A lot of what they were sharing with me was on the topic of healing. And that's because Arcturians are master healers in the universe. They have really nailed anything and everything to do with healing. They also do a lot of work with sacred geometries. So when I was specifically connecting through the Arcturian soul aspect, the messages that were coming through were very, very specific to healing, health, wellness, some business stuff. So that was a lot of the stuff that was coming through. And as I've shifted and changed over the years, what I've noticed is that certain star groups have certain themes that come through at specific moments in time. Now, what's so fascinating about the Andromedan is that, first of all, the energy feels very, very expansive. And one of the reasons for that is when we talk about the Andromedan galaxy, is it is literally very far away, So I feel like from a consciousness perspective, when I was doing readings with people that had more of that Arcturian energy coming through, I felt very, very expansive in my being. Like I was tapping into something that was really far away, that was coming at light speed towards me. And it was almost like I had to grasp that energy that was coming in. So that was the experience I had. And then when I tuned into the actual messages, one thing that's quite unique about these Andromedan, these missions that are coming online for people, is they seem to be very specific and very unique. Now, they don't seem to have, at this point, maybe this will change with once I see more people who have this energy in them. They don't seem to have that same level of generalization that I see, for example, with Pleiadians, Arcturians, or even Lyran energies, because it's like each of these people had something very, very specific. One thing that was common across these Andromedan readings, though, was that there was always these specific light symbols that were coming through, and there was a lot to do with bringing through those energies through one's vocation or through one's purpose. So I don't want to get into too many specifics because the readings were quite personal to the people that I did them with, but I'll use a made up example so you can understand what I'm talking about. Let's just say that your mission on planet Earth is to work with plants, right? And you feel really drawn to plants, you have a green thumb. People always tell you that, when you work with plants, it lights them up and you can somehow bring back to life even an almost dead plant, right? Imagine that's your mission. And if your Andromedan soul aspect was coming through, what that would look like in a practical aspect is the next time you work with plants, instead of just focusing on the soil and the water and the sunlight and all those practical things, you'd be noticing those light codes that are coming through and you'd be anchoring them into the ground. One of the visions that I have had is, and this is not specific to Andromeda, and I see this with a lot of star races, is the ability to put your hand on the ground and connect with the frequency of that land, and then that helps to raise that energy, and then you see these seeds coming to life, and it's almost like it grows faster or it grows more potently. And there's a little bit of science in this as well. People have done experiments where if you speak to plants, if you connect with them in that way, if you play music to them, they're known to grow faster. And there's a lot of stuff around and that side of things that's already been practically measured from a scientific perspective. The way that I've seen it is it's actually the imbuing of those light codes that happens into that thing that you're doing. Now, I've just used plants as a very simple example, but what I've seen with Andromedan souls is that they're being asked to bring these light codes in through whatever profession that they're currently in. So, for example, if you work with essential oils, how are you going to bring those codes into the oils that you're creating for people, or flower essences, or even if you're doing Reiki, like if you've learned Reiki, well, one thing that I see with Reiki practitioners when their starseed activations start to come online is that it's not just about the Reiki symbols. Now there's galactic symbols coming through. There's Andromedan symbols coming through. So there's lots of ways that this can play out. I guess the main message in all of this is that if you feel that resonance to the Andromedan star system, there seems to be a really big call right now to step up into that, to rise up and to really take action on that. So there's lots of practical things that you can do around that. One, of course, is meditating daily and connecting with your Arcturian self. A lot of the time, what happens is that, we call them guides or whatever, right? But the reality is that most of the time, the beings that we initially connect with, especially when we're star seeds and we're reaching out to our star family, most of the time we first connect with our galactic own soul aspects. So for those of you that have these soul aspects, that are living these parallel lives right now in this Andromedan star system, you're being asked to reconnect with that soul aspect so that you can bring through those codings into whatever it is that you're already doing, whether it's plants, whether it's soul essences, whether it's technology. You know, I've seen people do it with like if you work in video production or something, it's how do you bring those codes into your coaching, mentoring, product, service, healing, whatever it is that you're doing. So for those of you that are really resonating with this and you want to learn more, I do have an event coming up on the 6th of January, and it's called How to Elevate Your Life and Business to 5D Consciousness. And so what we're going to be talking about in these 5 days is how to really tune in to those soul aspects. Now, of course, I can't teach you everything in 5 days, but this is a really great introductory event just to dip your toes in a little bit and to understand things like how the inner heart practice works and how to understand the language of your higher self. And throughout the event, there's going to be a number of different galactic transmissions as well. And there will be some opportunities as well where I can help you and sort of tune into your energy field and see what's going on. So for those of you that are connecting with those Andromedan soul aspects, if you're feeling those energies coming in, I highly, highly recommend that you check out the link below and you come and join us in the event that's starting on next Monday, which is the 6th of January. And from there, I might be able to guide you further into how to actually make contact with your Andromedan self. 2025, it's the year, guys. This is the time. It's all happening. So don't put it off for another year. Don't put it off until 2030. You know, make it your business to make it your priority, because if you're feeling that internal call, it's there for a reason, and it's not just you. It's lots of people are waking up to this. Lots of people are receiving the call. Not everyone's going to answer the call, but for those of you who want to answer the call and you want to step up, I'm here to support you. Reach out, come along to the event, start connecting with those soul aspects, because the mission is much bigger than us. You know, we're going for open contact by 2027. That's not that long away. So it really takes a mass volume of us to really step up, to prioritize this, and to make it our business to really go out there and reconnect with those soul aspects so that then we can fulfill the purpose that it is that we're here to do. You know, that was the other question I got asked at Uluru. Probably almost every person that I spoke to was, what's my purpose? What am I here for? Well, that clarity will come when you connect with these soul aspects and you tune into what's really coming through you. That's how you step out of the 3D matrix into this higher 5D frequency, what we call the unified field consciousness. And with that comes a natural awakening into your galactic self and your galactic awareness. And then from there, your full multidimensional awareness as well, which is all dimensions, all soul aspects, past lives, you name it, everything is available to you. So in this introductory event, you will get a really great taster of what that looks like at a practical level, and then you'll come away with really clear steps on how you can walk away and really apply this into your life, and then those next steps that are going to help you to have that deep, full connection with those soul aspects that are wanting to come forward right now. All right, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you liked the video, give us a like, share, thumbs up, comment below as well if you resonate with this energy. And yeah, I mean, if enough people ask for it, maybe I'll do one for Arcturians and Pleiadians as well. But the Andromedans are the ones that are really coming through quite strongly for me right now. So I just really wanted to share these themes that are coming through so you guys can move into 2025 with a bit more clarity. And for those of you that are joining us in the 5-day event, I can't wait to dive deeper.